Distinguished fellow speakers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Throughout its 75th anniversary, the United Nations has faced one of the greatest challenges since its foundation. The impacts of COVID-19 go beyond the health and economic crisis. It has added additional tension to a fraught geopolitical environment and strained our capacities for advancing the Sustainable Development Goals. It has also exposed the fragility of our international institutions and our international security architecture. I will quickly describe just a few of the key disarmament and security issues where actions are needed to ensure the international community builds back strong. First, while COVID-19 has been hugely disruptive and devastating, a nuclear weapon detonation will be significantly more destructive, and no state can respond adequately. It is my hope that this reality compels us to redouble our efforts to eliminate this potentially existential threat once and for all. Second, the pandemic has renewed concerns about biological weapons, particularly their use by non-state actors. With the lessons we learned from the fight against COVID-19, we must seek new forms of international cooperation to increase preparedness and response to any deliberate use of disease as a weapon. Third, the economic shocks created by the pandemic has so far done little to reverse steady increase in military budgets. We must do more to ensure that the effective path to economic recovery comes through reducing the burden of excessive military spending on our societies. Finally, the pandemic-related disruptions also threaten our efforts to keep ahead of the challenges posed by new weapon technologies. Our multilateral institutions have found some ways to move forward efforts on promoting a safe and secure cyberspace, addressing concerns of autonomous weapons, and explore new ideas on preventing conflict or an arms race in outer space. But this work must be accelerated. The problems we are facing as an international community will require a collective response. This means creating more inclusive environments so that no one is left behind, including traditionally disenfranchised groups like women, and by empowering the next generation. If we are going to succeed in getting past this pandemic to a brighter future, we must ensure that all voices are heard. Part of my mission is to promote the equal, full, and effective participation of women in all disarmament processes and decision-making. In my own office, I am working for cultural change and the creation of an enabling working environment which can remove obstacles to women's equal participation. But we must also go beyond participation to address the deeply rooted patriarchal norms that continue to hold back gender equality, especially as the pandemic only further deepened existing inequalities. Since the start of the outbreak, domestic violence has intensified. We must not accept this reality. Weapons feed into norms and power relationships and foster such violence. For the 243 million women who are victims of violence from an intimate partner each year, a gun in the home can make the difference between life and death. The design of disarmament and arms control efforts, therefore, need to carefully study and respond to the different experiences of women, men, girls, and boys. My office actively supports the integration of gender perspectives in all programs and through targeted initiatives such as support for gender mainstreaming in small arms control. Our efforts to adopt more inclusive approaches also should not overlook how gender interest with other bases for inequalities such as age, ethnicity, and disabilities. We must also do better to engage youth. Young people have the power to effect change, and their ideas can help strengthen our collective peace and security now and for the future. My office is educating and empowering young people through an outreach initiative, #YouthForDisarmament, where we are making available various resources, including e-newsletters, training programs, and career opportunities. We recently launched a dedicated digital platform at www.youthfordisarmament.org to mark the first anniversary of the General Assembly resolution on youth, disarmament, and non-proliferation. We are also working with our first group of youth champions for disarmament, who will pursue peace and disarmament in their respective communities and countries, and at the global level through their creative means. The pandemic has made clear that in order to create sustainable solutions to the crises we face, we must shift towards a people-centered approach to peace and security. Now is the time to rethink our approaches and reinvigorate multilateralism to rise to the challenge. Thank you.